YouTube, what's good? We're back in this thing. Today we're going to be going over this Noticed It music video by Autumn. It was edited by Native, and there's some really cool effects in the music video, and it kind of inspired me to make my own version of some of the effects in there. Like I said, it's my own version of an effect done in the music video, so it's not replicating anything specifically. It's just taking concepts that Native used in the video and just applying them into our own work. I'll have the music video linked below as well as Native. Be sure to watch the music video and see where I got the inspiration from. So let me know any other effects that you want to see a similar breakdown of throughout that music video, because I think I'm probably going to do a few more tutorials on that music video in specific. If you're new here, what I do is a lot of music video editing tutorials. I started doing vlogs because I'm now part of a producer collective called Splitmind. We've just been in the studio sessions and stuff. It's kind of a lot more hands-on and showing what it's like to be in a studio with an artist, and just a bunch of other things that I'm learning here for the music industry side of stuff. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely be sure to subscribe. If you haven't already, like and comment. Let's get 500 likes on this video, 100 comments. That'd be greatly appreciated. It really helps push my content to other people that want to see this type of video, and just helps me grow my channel. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so if you have a friend that's interested in any of this, feel free to share it with them. If you want to support the channel even more, you can go over to briandelmata.com, check out my texture pack. It helps you get Og and Lone Wolf style paper rip effects and transitions. It really supports me as a creator and helps me make a lot of these videos, as well as at the same time you guys get some really high quality digital assets for your music videos, photos, and just a bunch of other uses. If you're not following me on Instagram, Twitter, all social medias in the Discord, I'll have them linked below. It's a good way to keep up with what I'm doing and kind of have a little bit of insight on what my day-to-day is, besides the vlogs and these tutorials. So if you want to keep up there or just shoot me a DM, feel free. But yeah, guys, that's enough talking. Let's get into this video, break it down. Check out these blue light glasses, by the way. Got them. No blue light hitting my eyes. If you got a blue light glass company, hit me up. I'm trying to get sponsored. These things, so far, I like them, so let's rock. So what I did is I just picked out a clip where I want to rotobrush our subject. So what I did is just Control-Shift-D and split our clip where we want the effect to take place, and then going up to the rotobrush up here and double clicking on our layer, and then just going to the start of it and masking out our subject. Like I say, with all these effects that use rotobrush, the cleaner your rotobrush is, the first one, the easier it's going to be, and just the better the effect's going to look overall. So feel free to spend as much time as you want on here. Like I said, it really does sell the effect, and like always, because it's a tutorial, I'm going to spend a little less time making it super perfect, but it'll still look pretty good. I just go to preview here and go frame by frame, and then I correct if something messes up. If you want to delete, you can hold Alt on your keyboard and that will erase the pink lines, like right there. Holding Alt to erase there, and then maybe making this a little bit bigger. And then once you get to your last frame in the rotobrush, just go ahead and click freeze. What that's going to do is just lock in your rotobrush. It's not going to allow you to change it anymore unless you unfreeze it, but it's going to mask your subject out from the background, and it's going to delete all the spots that you don't have the rotobrush pink outline around. So it's going to have, if you close out of this layer by clicking close up here, it's going to have just your subject. As you can see, a little parts of this are a little rough looking, so I'm just going to move the shift edge in to negative a little bit. That way it kind of gets rid of those white edges, as well as just feather it up a little bit. That way it just looks a little cleaner. And then the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and duplicate your layer and go to the bottom layer below it. Go ahead and drag on Turbulence Displace. It's a built-in effect in After Effects, and it's going to be the majority of the effect for this one. I'm going to go ahead and make the size and amount both to 0, and then go ahead and keyframe them. And then I'm going to go ahead and choose pinning, click none. I'm going to go ahead, after you keyframed it, go 10 frames forward and maybe drag the size up to something like, I don't know, anywhere from 50 to 100. So I'm going to go 75. And then the amount, it just depends on your clip, but just give it something where it looks cool. I think right around 400 for me is the sweet spot. It's all depending on your clip though, so keep that in mind. And then I'm gonna just go to the keyframes, highlight them, and then click F9. It's just gonna ease them, and then you can see you kind of already have this crazy liquid look effect behind it. You want even, you could go like 5 frames from there, use the same keyframes, and then bring them back down to 0 at the end. That way it just kind of bounces back in. I'll show what that looks like. Kind of bounces back in. And then another thing I did to just kind of make it a little bit more crazy is I went to effects and presets and used the CC scale wipe. Like I said, this is just like inspiration from the actual video, so it's just things and effects that I saw in his video, or his effect, that looked cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like maybe drag the scale there, and you can play with the position, so like drags off to the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and keyframe the stretch to 0. And then I figured out where I liked it, so I'm going to go 10 frames ahead, go to something like 40, keyframe it at the last part as well at 40, so it matches up with the keyframes where it bounced back in. and then go back down to 0. That way it just kind of has that bounce still too. You can even keyframe the center or the direction of it as well. These are just ideas that I had while doing it. I think it just looks pretty cool. It just adds a little bit extra of an element to it where it's bouncing out. Another effect I'm going to add on top of this is CC Blobilize. You can use Sapphire Distort too. It's pretty much the same thing, but I'm going to crank up the softness of it a lot. And then I think it's cool to play around with where the Blobilize stands in the effect itself. It's not going to really make a difference. It's only going to make a difference really on each side of the turbulence displace, because it's either going to make it blobs before it or after it. I drug it up before, but I don't think it really matters too much. I just think this gives it a little bit more of a liquid effect, and I'm just liking the way it looks right now. But like I said, you can put it anywhere in the clip and it'll look cool. And then lastly, for this layer, all I'm going to add is some glow. I'm going to use Sapphire Glow, but you can use Universe Glow, you can use Deep Glow, you can use VR Glow. It doesn't really matter too much. All I'm going to do is just sample the color of his hoodie, just so it has that purple hue, and literally change nothing else. And then I'm going to duplicate the layer. I'm going to duplicate the layer where, with all the effects on it already. And on this layer, I'm going to add echo, and that's just going to give it that ghost-like effect. I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do is go to echo operator and change that to in back of. That way it just goes behind each layer. And then I'm also going to keyframe the number of echoes at the beginning to 0. I'm going to have the starting intensity 0.8, so that's 80% opacity basically, and then I'm going to do 0.8 for the decay as well, so that means it goes down 20% opacity each echo. Hopefully that's making sense. It sounded a little complex when I said it, but basically each echo it's going to get 20% more and more transparent. And then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames to the right, just because I'm going to add 5 echoes, so I'm going to keyframe the number of echoes to 5 after those 5 frames. That way it kind of just gets rid of the issue where sometimes if you add echo on a rotoscoped out layer already, it just like has a weird glitch effect because the last few frames weren't rotoscoped before that. So I just like doing it that way. And I'm going to go ahead and render this out real quick just so you can see what that did. And then after that renders out, you can see it kind of has that ghost-like effect, and it kind of just has a little bit of delay to it. One thing I like doing when I add echo is some directional blur, and that just kind of blurs the echoes together, so it kind of has like this cool look in the ghost where it's like smooth instead of the harsh lines. And then I'm going to go to directional blur here, and I just did the direction kind of how we have the wipe going, the same direction as that. And then I'm just going to bring it up to like maybe something like 20 something. And honestly, that's a little bit much. I want it to be maybe something like 15 here. And then one last thing I'm going to do is add flicker onto it, Sapphire Flicker. If you don't have Sapphire, you can just keyframe the brightness of something. And then I'm going to keep it at default, pretty much everything besides amplitude. I'm probably just going to bring it up to like 0.5 just so it's a little bit more noticeable. That looks pretty cool. Some ideas is you can add turbulence and stuff to another layer with the background on with like some colorama and stuff. I'm going to go through a tutorial on something like that, so if you don't really understand what I'm saying here about that part, don't worry, because I'm going to make a tutorial pretty soon. But then the last thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and duplicate the layer one last time, and then go ahead and just shift click and delete everything. And that's just going to make it have the original background. I think it's a pretty cool effect. You can do a lot more other stuff to the effect itself too. You can add different blending modes, just a bunch of other things to make the effect look unique and interesting. Like I said, this is the ghost layer that I was talking about, and I just put it on overlay. It looks cool in a bunch of different blending modes, honestly. It just adds a little bit something else to the video. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on overlay. But you can do whatever you want. Like I said, all these effects are not necessary to make this effect look cool. It's just basically concepts that Night have used in the music video, and I kind of just took a few of them and combined them into its own effect. To get different looks and stuff, you can stack the effects in different orders, because if one effect's above the other, it's going to affect the overall look of the clip in a unique way. Try doing all that stuff. Try adding different effects that you think are cool, optics compensation, displacement map. There's just like a bunch of other, you could honestly just go through the whole distort panel in After Effects and try stuff like that on the effect to make it its own thing. That's pretty much all I got for you guys in this video. If you made it all the way to the end and you haven't already liked, comment, and subscribed, like I said, I am going for the goal of 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and your guys' support has been absolutely insane. Honestly, just being out in LA and being able to do all this stuff, it's honestly like what I've wanted to do for a really long time. So I appreciate every one of you guys. It really does mean a lot to me. I'm actually going to be flying back to Chicago after I'm recording this. I'm basically just packing up and going in like 4 hours from now. So the next tutorial you're going to see is from Chicago, my bedroom. So if you're new and you actually have subscribed just since I started, you won't recognize the spot, but if you're an OG, you will definitely recognize my bedroom. and it'll be cool to get back in there. I'm gonna be working on a bunch of digital assets while I'm there for like, I'm gonna stay for like right around a week, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit shorter, get some digital products done for you guys, get some tutorials, just go ahead, see the family, kind of just catch up, because I've been out here for right around a month, and I'm gonna be flying back out here and just continue doing my thing with Split Mind and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for the video. Peace.